Can someone confirm if my screen is visible? Okay then. So what were we discussing on the other day? So we have completed about all the bitwise operators. So in the last class we have discussed about the triple right shift operator, and we have also understood its difference, right? And today, we have also completed bitwise complement operator, the tilde symbol, TILD, tilde symbol. I don't think any explanation is required on top of this. Okay. Today we will start understanding about Java data types. This is very, very important because not only in the interview room, even in the application development, you should understand how these data types are going to work. And according to that, you're going to assign the values. Right? This understanding is really, really, really important. So what did I just say? Java data types or data types in Java. Data types in Java. Data types in. Okay. These data types in Java are divided into two types, guys. First one. Let me put the eye level diagram. Data types. Okay. It is divided into two types. One is primitive data types. Second one is non-primitive data types. You have primitive and you also have non-primitive. Non-primitive data type. Okay. Again, under primitive data type, you have two things. One is Boolean data type. Second one is what? Numeric data type. Okay, numeric data type. Okay. Again, under Boolean, you have only one data type, which is what? Which is the same Boolean in lowercase letter. Boolean. Okay. Under numeric, this numeric data types is further categorized into two types. One is character data type. Second one is what? Integral data type. Second one is integral. Integral. Okay. Again, under character, you have what? Again, character data type, you have something like char. And again, under integral, you have it is further divided into two types. One is integer. Second one is floating point. Floating. Okay. Again, under the integer, you have the four data types that we have been coming across very often. One is byte data type. Second one is short. Third one is int. Fourth one is long. Okay. Don't get any confused. Previously, we were discussing about Java literals. So that literals topic is something different and data types is something different. So literals are talking about the values, but data types are talking about what kind of data that you're going to use for a specific value. Both are literals are different, data types are different, right? So you have byte, short, int, and long, and the under floating point you have only two things. One is float, second one is double. Right? That's it. Okay, let me complete this diagram. So two types, data types. One is primitive, second one is non-primitive. We'll get a question. How many data types are there in Java? What you would say? You would say primitive data types is one of the data types and non-primitive is one of the data types. Again, under primitive data types, how many types are there? You should say you have Boolean type and you have numeric type. Right? And what are the data types that is under numeric? What are the categorization that is under numeric? You should say you have character and you have integral. So when it is character, you are talking about only char data type. Okay, this is the char data type. And when you are talking about integral, it is further divided into two types. One is integer, second one is floating point. Okay, under integer, you have what? You have byte, you have short, you have int, you have long, you have. Okay, so integer data type means there are four types. One is int, second one is short, third one is integer, fourth int, fourth one is long. Byte, short, int, long. Under floating point data type, you have two things. One is float, second one is double. Okay, and under Boolean, you have only one data type, which is the Boolean itself. Okay, if I ask you how many primitive data types are there in Java, is it countable or is it countable? Is it limited or is there something like there are many data types? Okay, if you ask me that question, the answer is very simple. Answer is very simple. There are 8 primitive data types: Boolean, character, byte, short, integer, long, right, float, and double. Okay, and again, so what are the data types that falls under non-primitive type? If you ask me, they are called as what? There are some data types like predefined data types. Something like string is there, a string buffer is there, right? And you have data types like string builder. Okay, this is the future topic. So understanding this is very easy when you understand the primitive data types. These are the future topics. Okay, now tell me how many primitive data types are there? Just type in the chat box. I know you know this. I'm just want to confirm if you and me are on the same page. Just type in the chat box, everyone. How many primitive data types are there? 8 types. Always remember there are only 8 primitive data types in Java. Okay. Now let us understand one by one. Let us try to understand the importance of byte data type. So byte is what? Byte is one of the smallest data types in Java. Let's understand byte data type. First important point. You can assign values to the byte data type. Okay, its range is, I'm just talking about the range. You can assign values to the byte data type, which is ranging from -128 to +127. First point, this is the range. And second point is, okay, it is a signed data type. It is a signed data type. So why it is a signed data type? Whenever a data type is representing both positive numbers as well as negative numbers, okay, you call that what? You call that data types. You call that particular data types as signed data type. Okay. When I'm saying that there is a signed data type, there are some data types which is unsigned data type. This character is an unsigned data type. Unsigned data type. We'll understand that in the future. Okay. For now, byte is what? Signed data type, because it is representing positive numbers as well as the negative numbers, and this is the range. Understanding this range is very important. Yeah, the third one is the default value of byte data type. Okay. The default value of byte data type is 0. I will tell you what is default value. Is 0. Okay, we will understand one by one. Fourth point is, what else we can write? So its range you can write, you can also write its signed or unsigned, and you can also write its default value. And what else we can write? Size we can write, right? Size. The size of the byte data type. The size of the byte data type is 1 byte. 1 byte is also called as, it is collection of 8 bits, or a group of 8 bits is called as, is going to represent 1 byte, right? So I can also say that 8 bits. Okay, only you have to remember these 4 points. Only you have to remember these 4 points. First point, second point, third point, and fourth point. So let us understand this. There is a formula to calculate the range. We have already discussed about this. Okay, without using the formula, if you want to calculate the range without even remembering this, okay, how we can come to the conclusion in this range? Okay, please focus here. So I'm not talking about byte now. I'm going to talk about my own data type. Let us say that I am building my own data type, which is of size 3 bits. I want to build my own data type of size 3 bits. Okay, so 3 bits means, okay, this is 1 bit, and this is second bit, and this is third bit, right? So 3 bit data type. So 1 bit, 2 bit, 3 bit, 3 bits, and I want to store some numbers. Okay, how many possible combinations that I can store in my 3-bit data type? How many possible combinations? Very simple. If you want to go for 3-bit data type, 2 to the power of 3. Just to do what? 2 to the power of number of bits. 2 to the power of number of bits, which is 3 bits here. It is going to give me what? The evaluate, after getting it evaluated, you are going to get 8. Right? So there will be 8 possible combinations. Focus here. Okay, 1, 2. Okay. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 possible combinations, right? So now focus here. This is my own data type, and these are the possible combinations, 8 possible combinations. Okay, the possible combinations can be ranging from what? 0, 1, 2, 3 decimal number, okay, 4 is a decimal number, and 5 is also a decimal number, and 6 is also a decimal number, and 7 is also a decimal number. I can store decimal numbers from 0 to 7. Okay? If I treat this data type as a unsigned data type, what does it really mean? I can store only positive values ranging from 0 to 7. 0 to 7. Okay, now just do the binary equivalent of the value 0. If we want to convert the decimal number to the binary number, we know this convention. Now we are experts in converting this. So 0, 0, 0. Okay, 0, 0, 1. So 1 is equivalent to 0, 0, 1 in binary, and 2 is equivalent to 0, 1, 0, and 3 is equivalent to what? 0, 1, 1. Okay, and 4 is equivalent to what? 1, 0, 0. 5 is equivalent to 1, 0, 1, and 6 is equivalent to 1, 1, 0, and 7 is equivalent to 1, 1, 1. See, so I can represent only the positive numbers. If I want to treat my data type as unsigned data type, I can represent only the positive numbers. Okay. But if I want to treat the data type as the signed data type, okay sir, I want to treat this data type as signed data type, which means I want to represent both the positive numbers as well as negative numbers. So when I say I want to treat this as a signed data type, always remember signed is talking about the signatures. There can be the negative sign, there can be the positive sign. These two possible signs will be there. Okay, then MSB will come into the picture. MSB is what? Most significant bit. Okay, so most significant. So these are the leftmost bit is also called as the most significant bit. When I say most significant bit, the leftmost bits are most significant bit. Okay, if you want to ensure that my 3 bits data type has to represent both negative numbers and positive numbers, you need to consider the MSB into the picture. Sorry about that. You need to consider what? You need to consider the MSB into the picture. Okay, just divide the numbers accordingly with respect to MSB. Just what I want to do, just take the bit which has the most significant bit as 0 to one side. Okay, and just take the bits which has the most significant bit as 1 to the other side. Okay, now what they are saying, in the most significant bit, if the bit value is 1, that is the negative number. If the bit value is 0, that is the positive number. That is a positive number. So you can find so now I can say that, okay, this should be the negative number, this should be the negative number, this should be the negative number, this should be the negative number. You can find the negative numbers in two ways. Either you can go for 2's complement. If you don't like to go for 2's complement, directly you can do. Okay, just raise the powers, 2 to the power of 0, 2 to the power of 1, 2 to the power of 2. You would get something like what? Just you cannot do any substitution for this. Okay, 2 to the power of 0, this is also 0. So you cannot consider this, you have to consider this one. 2 to the power of 2 is what? 2 to the power of 2 is going to give 4. Since it is 1, 1 is representing negative, just add minus here. Making sense? Instead of doing 2's complement, you can also directly do this, I'm saying. So we know what is 2's complement. Instead of doing 2's complement, directly you can do this. Okay, this is minus 4. This is going to be minus 4. Okay, let me remove this. Now tell me what would be the answer for this. 101. Okay, I will explain for this. 101. If you wind the see, just raise the power. 2 to the power of 0, 2 to the power of 1, 2 to the power of 2. You don't consider this because the bit is 0. 0th bit you don't consider. The remaining values are what? 2 to the power of 2 plus 2 to the power of 0. Okay, 2 to the power of 2 is going to give you 4, but make sure that the most significant bit is 1, it is negative, right? Put a minus sign. Plus 2 to the power of 0 is what? 1. What would be the answer? Minus 3, isn't it? Can I do it as minus 3? Right? Now you tell me for 110, what would be the answer? Everyone, unmute and speak.
6.
No, 110. Let me repeat. Okay, 2 to the power of 0, 2 to the power of 1, 2 to the power of 2. Okay, I am saying consider the value of MSB. Okay, if the value of MSB is 1, whatever the answer that you are getting, put a negative sign. If you will be getting 4, right? 4 means put a negative sign, because the most significant bit is 1 here. 1 has to represent a negative number. So you get minus 4 plus 2 to the power of 1 is what? 2. And 2 to the power of 0 is what? 1, isn't it? Obviously, this you won't do this, right? You won't do this. Okay, minus 4 plus 2 is what? Minus 2, isn't it? Making sense? You are trying to consider the MSB. You will assume, is MSB the value, the bit value of MSB is 1 here. It means whatever the number you get, you will add a negative signature to that. Now you calculate the value for this 111. 111. I'm just replacing this like this. What would be the answer for this? Hello? Not understanding.
Minus 1.
Minus 1, no. Just raise 2 to the power of 0, 2 to the power of 1, 2 to the power of 2. What I was saying, there is an MSB concept here. MSB means, okay, this is the MSB here. Whatever the answer you are getting after evaluation, put a minus sign, right? And the remaining things are going to be as usual. Okay, plus 2, okay, and plus 1. Okay, you will get what? Minus 1. So minus 1 would be the answer. Right? If you observe this as a pattern, okay, you are getting a range from minus 4 to plus 3. This is the range, right? Negative 4 to positive 3. Okay, when you look at the numbers that is placed as bits in negative 4, this is negative 4, right? Let me do this. Okay, so I have 3 bit size. 1 1. Okay, when I ask you what could be the least number that I can get from here, least number should always be a negative number. What would be the greatest number? The greatest number means it should always be a positive number, right? If it is a negative number, definitely the most significant bit, the value of the most significant bit has to be what? 1. If it is a positive number, definitely the value of most significant bit has to be 0. Okay, if you want to get the least negative number, can I just put zeros here? By placing most significant bit as 1, if I place the remaining things as 0, I will be getting the, I can find the actual size, least number, size of the negative number, least size of the negative number. If I do this, if I place 1 here, I can find the maximum number. After the substitution, I can get like, this is going to give me minus 4 to, this is going to give me plus 3. This is the idea. If you want to apply the same logic to the byte data type, first of all you have to do, okay, if you want to apply the same logic, I have a byte data type. The byte data type is a combination of what? Combination of 8 bits. So you will be having 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. And at the same time, okay, byte data type is representing both positive numbers as well as what? Both negative numbers. Okay. 4 5 6 7 8. If I ask you find the least number, okay, least number means a negative number. If I ask you, you also want to find the maximum number. Maximum number has to be a positive number. Considering the MSB, most significant bit logic, okay, you will need to add what? You will need to add 2 things here. Okay, let me consider. This is the MSB and this is also the MSB, right? Okay, if you add 1 here, and you will add 0 here. For the negative number, you will be adding 1 in the MSB place. For the positive number, you will be adding 0 in the MSB place. Okay. To find the least negative number, you will be just filling all the bits to 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. To find the maximum positive number, you will be filling all the values with 1. If you perform the evaluation, you are going to get minus 128 to plus 127. So in future, okay, if I give you any bit, let us say that I have a data of 2 bits. Okay. So I'm also saying that my data is representing both negative and positive number, but the size of my data is just 2 bits. If I ask you to find the least number, what you have to consider? Firstly, always consider MSB. Okay. You have to find, okay, this is the MSB place and this is also the MSB place. MSB place. Okay, if you place 1 here, it is going to give what? It is going to give the least negative number. If you place 0 here, it is going to give the maximum positive number. What do I really mean? If you place 1, it is negative number. If you place 0 in the MSB, it is going to give the positive number. How to find the least negative number? You will just add 0 in the remaining bits. To find the maximum number, you will just add 1 in the remaining bit places. Making sense? Let me ask you one more question. Now I am asking you, focus here. I just want to understand if you are understanding this or not. I have a bit size of, I have a memory unit of 5 bits. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, let me take a copy of this. I am saying that this is my memory unit. I am also saying that my memory unit is of 5 bits. Okay, my memory units is supporting both negative numbers as well as positive numbers. Having said this, I can say that it is a signed data byte. Signed data type. Signed data type means it will be having a range from negative to positive. Okay, now you tell me, considering this MSB, now you tell me to find the least negative number, what are the values that I can fill here from beginning from here? Can someone tell me? From here, what are the values, possible values I can fill from here?
1.
1 and remaining things has to be 0, right?
0.
Okay, what are the things that I can fill here?
0.
Remaining things has to be 1, 1. In future, if anyone is asking you to, they are giving you to find the range of any data type, especially the range for integral data type. When I say range, okay, this formula will be applicable only for these 4 data types: byte, short, integer, and long. If they ask you to find, you do not have to really memorize this. If you understand this logic, you can find the same thing over here as well. Making sense? Right? If you want, you can remember. Or else, if you want, you can calculate the things like this. You can develop your data structures and algorithm skills also like this. Okay. Now you got to know why it is a signed data type. They're asking you why you are telling byte is a signed data type. You can say that it is representing both negative number as well as positive number. Okay, now the third point, if you want to answer this third point, the default value of byte data type is 0. Okay, let us understand this. What is the default value? Sometimes in the application development, guys, focus here. You want to develop any application. Let us say that this is my own application. Okay, I am just catching information from the end user. I want to catch only 2 information. Okay, one is the name of the end user. The second one is what? Second one is his age I want to catch. Okay, I am just trying to store the details of my end user's name, end user's age. Right, behind the scenes I will be doing something behind the scenes. So this is my backend layer. So my application, this is my Java application backend layer. Okay, let us assume that there is a button here, submit button is also here. Let us assume that after entering these 2 details, customer has to click on the submit button. Click on this submit button. Right? So let us say that customer is entering something like Balaji and age is entering something like 15 years old. If he is entering things like this, what as a person I will do as a backend developer, I will assign these values to a specific data type. So if it is a name, definitely string is the possible value that I can use. Balaji. Okay. Now focus here. If it is age, okay, definitely you cannot. The odds are very less for any person to cross 100 years old. The odds are nowadays chances are very less. maximum they can cross 125, right? Or else forget about age. If you are applying for any LIC insurance plan, so there will be an option for term. They call it as a term plan. So you cannot go more, you cannot choose more than 100 in the term plan. That is the case, the best possible data type that one can choose is byte data type, right? So they can choose, they can store the 15 which is representing the age in a data type called byte data type, because you know that the value will never cross 100. The chances are very less. I am choosing byte data type, I'm choosing B, I'm choosing what, something like, let us say, I mean, what is it, 15. The customer is, I mean, the end user is entering 15, so 15 will be assigned to this variable B, which is of byte data type. And this customer is going to hit on what? Customer is going to hit on submit button. After hitting on submit button, I will be catching this data, Balaji as well as 15. Very happy. Sometimes what happens, customer will not fill any information. Customer may forget, okay? Sometimes customer will not fill this information. He would be just filling his age, I mean, filling his name, but he don't like to fill his age information. And still he will hit the submit button. Still he will hit the submit button without entering the age. When that is happening, a default value would be captured. A default value would be captured. Making sense? If the customer is not entering age, which is mean to, this field is mean to enter his age. If the customer is leaving this space as a blank, okay, so Java will capture a default value. So this space is coming as an empty. So Java has to capture that. Will be capturing a default value when the information is left unfilled. That default value is called 0. So byte is going to take 0 as a default value. Okay. What if customer is not entering Balaji also? What if customer is not entering the name as, and he is not entering the, what we call it as, he's also not entering what? He's not entering age. Okay? He is forgotten to enter both the name and age. Not forgotten, he wantedly doing this. Okay, and he is just trying to click on submit button without entering this two information. Okay? You as a backend developer, you will capture, instead of Balaji, you will capture it as null. For string, the default value is null. If the fields are coming as empty, backend, the Java will capture it as null. It will not capture it as empty, it will capture it as null. For byte, it will capture it as 0. This is what the default values are. Are you getting this? Yes, no? Say something. You understood what is default value? Everyone?
Yes, sir.
What about others? Type in the chat box at least. Yes, no, yes, no. You can unmute and speak, guys. Why you are getting afraid? I don't understand. Only 8 members are here. Okay then. I will prove this programmatically. Now let us see some programs on top of byte data type. Okay, let me take class A. I am taking a class A and I am taking a method like public static void main. And you may be also getting a question. Okay, see, in the real-time application development, you as a backend developer, you may be getting the default value, but the front-end team is front-end team, like let us say that the front-end team, they are using JavaScript. They use some regular expression. Okay, they use some regular expressions like what is it? Okay, if the field is left empty, it will give you an alert. It will give you a pop-up saying that name cannot be empty. Name cannot be empty. So these things will be taken care. It is very rare that you are going to receive the default value. These things will be taken care by the front-end team in the real-time application development. Sometimes there are some places, at very few cases, these fields may get missing. Okay, they might have forgotten to handle this. For example, sometimes there will be some optional data, right? So they would ask you to phone number, enter your phone number, and they would keep something like optional. Means it's up to you to enter phone number or not to enter phone number. It's up to you whether to enter phone number or not enter phone number. In that cases, if the end user is not okay to enter his phone number, you would catch this phone number as a default value. Since this is empty, you would catch this as a default value. Making sense? Everything will be taken care. The mandatory field has to be taken care by the front end. They will use some regular expressions and they will validate these things by sending some alerts to the end user. So name field cannot be empty, age field cannot be empty, phone number can be empty, it is optional. Okay, end user may not fill the phone number information. In those cases, we as a backend developer, we have to ensure that things also getting called. Okay, if that is empty, the Java will ensure that a default value is getting assigned to that according to the data type. For byte data type, it is 0. Hope now this is making more sense. Okay. So these things you have to take care in the real-time application development, whether you are receiving the default value or you are getting the actual value. Okay, let me delete this. Now go back. Okay, I want you to understand this programmatically. Okay. Now you are going to tell me the answer. You are going to tell me the output. Okay. Let's say in Chennai now the price of tea. If you drink one tea, the cost is 12 rupees. Okay. I'm using the. Now you tell me what is this. Everyone, unmute and speak. What is this?
Integer.
Okay, that is integer. What part is this? I can call it as value. I can also call it as literal. Yes or no? So what part is this? This is called as what? This is called as variable name. Can I say? Or identifier? Hello? Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, this is the value. This is an identifier. Now if I just give system.out.println, okay, and if I just print it, what would be the output? Can anyone say?
T.
What about others?
There would be an error.
It is an error. Very good. It is definitely, you will get compile time error. Okay, why you would get compile time? I have been telling you very often that if you want to assign a value to a variable, definitely there should be a data type, because Java will not understand whether this is coming in. Because Java will never understand without using the data type. Java will never understand whether this is a value or this is some kind of random garbage or some kind of string. It will never understand. What is the rule? Data type followed by variable name followed by value. This is the syntax. To represent any data, to represent any value, to represent any literal, use a variable name. Okay, variable name is called as an identifier. This can be any name. Without any violation, you can use this. Okay, but data type is mandatory. Okay, you are assigning, you are using a value and the variable name. Where is the data type? It is missing, no? So the compiler will give you an error. Let me save this. File save as a.java. Already saved, I think. Java C space a.java. You will get compiled error. Compiler is saying, hey, I cannot find symbol, man. I cannot find symbol. What is this T? I'm not able to understand. What is this T and what is this T? Okay, we humans, we understand what is T, but the compiler will not understand. Okay, to make sure that the compiler is also understanding, just use the data type. Now tell me what is the answer.
Yeah. Error.
12.
Now it's 12, correct. Why error, Sudhir?
So I thought byte cannot perform any arithmetic operations.
But here we are not performing any arithmetic operations. We are just assigning a value to a variable name which is of byte data type.
Okay.
Making sense? Okay.
Yes.
Just Java C space a.java, Java space a. Okay, this is not arithmetic. This is just I'm just using an assignment operator. Okay, that value is getting displayed in the console. So when you do this, okay, you may be thinking, okay, this value is just getting assigned to the variable and it is getting displayed in the console. But internally, we know what are the things are happening behind the scenes. What are the things that are happening behind the scenes? Okay, this is our program. So forget about the compilation. The compiler will come into the picture. Okay, compiler will ensure that okay, value is 12. It is within the byte range. Okay, and the programmer is using the byte data type, and remaining syntax is also completely valid. All the validations will be done by the compiler. Boom, it will generate dot class file, a dot class file. Okay, this is the source code a.java. After the successful compilation, dot class file will be generated. During the runtime, okay, I said no, the main thread will be created. Okay, to activate JVM, okay, to activate compiler, you use command like java c space a.java. To activate JVM, you use a command like java space a class name. So this main thread will get access to the main method. Okay, it has identified the first instruction. Okay, you are storing a decimal number to the variable t, but internally this decimal number will get converted to what? It gets converted to binary number. Okay, decimal number will always get converted to a binary number. Then the values will be stored inside the RAM. 8-bit of registry will be created. Why 8-bit of registry? Because byte is what? The handling capacity of byte is of what? Capacity of byte is what? 1 byte. 1 byte is the combination of 8 bits. Only 7 is there. Huh? Yeah, combination of 8 bit. Okay, this decimal number 12 will be converted to equivalent binary number. What is equivalent binary number? Can someone help me with that?
1100.
1100. Okay, 1100. Remaining things will be 0. Right? So this is the positive 12, and if you see MSB, MSB is 0, which means a positive number. Okay, and this is going to have the name called T. After this, what you are doing? You are just accessing the T to get displayed in the console. This main thread will find, okay, this person is trying to get the value of T. What is the value of T? T is something in binary number 0001100. Again, this will get converted to the equivalent decimal number, and that is going to get displayed in the console. So output is 12. So this many things are happening behind the scenes. There is a twist here. There is one twist here. I will tell you that. Okay. The system.out.println, whatever the variable that you are giving, okay, and it will try to find the data type. So in this case, the data type is what? Byte. Okay, it will always convert. It is going to convert every data type to what? To the integer type. Internally, this conversion will happen. Okay, you are using byte, okay, but when you try to access this byte data type in the system.out.println statement, right, this byte gets converted to int, then it will perform the action. You will understand this in the next example. Okay, next example, let me show you the next example. Okay, now you tell me what is the possible answer of, let us say that I add some snacks, I have some tea, and I add some snacks in the tea shop, and I have spent 10 rupees for my snacks. So I want to calculate tea plus snacks. So what is the answer? Tell me.
Error.
No, sir, the extra days error was something different. Arithmetic, I mean, just direct answer. 12 plus 10 is what? 22. 22 will be the answer. I will tell you about extra days error. 22. Okay, 12 and 10, it is going to add it. Okay, we are going to get this. Now, can I do this? Right? Total bill amount. What is the total bill amount? T plus snacks. Okay, if I place total here, now tell me what is the answer, anyone? Any idea?
Error.
Okay,
Error.
it is error. Can you explain? Someone explain why it is error? Any idea about why we are getting error?
Give the add instruction.
Do this add instruction. I will tell you.
Byte cannot perform any arithmetic operation.
Correct. Correct. I will tell you why. I will tell you what is happening behind the scenes. Your answers are correct. Let us get deep dive into it. This is one of the popular interview questions. They have given this interview question just like this. I'm not sure how the interviews will be in USA. They will ask you most of the time data structures and algorithms. So problematic things will also be there. But over here you get a lot of fundamentals things, and there will be few 3 to 4 programs. We'll understand that also, no issues. Now try to understand what is happening behind the scenes. This is the question, right? Okay. Always remember the moment you are performing the arithmetic operation. So plus is an operator, right? Plus is an arithmetic operator. Okay. So what are the operands in this case? What are the operands we have? You have operand like 12 and another operand is 10. I am taking just the values, not the variables, 12 and 10. So this is one of the operand and this is another operand. Okay. Always remember when you are using the arithmetic operation, when you are using the plus operation, the compiler will try to check each and every operand. The operand on the right side, the operand on the left side. Okay. It says 10. 10 is what? 10 is of byte. Okay. And 12 is what? Again 12 is of what type? Byte data type. It will not agree to this. Compiler will not agree to this. Compiler will ensure that both has to be what? Both has to be at least integer data type or more than that. If you see the promotion chart, okay, first least one is 0. I mean byte is the least data type. Second biggest data type is short, and the third one is integer, fourth one is long. Okay, for performing arithmetic operation, the minimum operand should be of integer data type. You can also use long, no issues. The minimum operand should be of integer. When I say this, both should be what? 12 should be integer and 10 should be integer. 12 should be integer and 10 should be integer. How I can solve this problem? I can solve these problems in two ways. One way is either I can change these two operands. Instead of byte, I can change this to int. Instead of byte, I can change this to int. And the resultant value, the data type of the resultant value can be changed as to int. This way I can do, or else I can just say change the resultant value to int. Instead of byte, I can change it to int. Okay, not only for plus. Okay, it is applicable for minus. Now let us try to understand each and everything. Now you see, let us try to see the error here. Java C space a dot Java. You are getting what? Possibly lossy conversation from int to byte. Okay, what does it really mean? Compiler is expecting, because you are doing an arithmetic operation. Compiler is expecting the operands to be the integer data type. But two operands are of what type? Byte data type. It is not accepted. I'm sorry, it is not accepted. Like that it is saying. Okay, how to resolve this? I can remove this. If I just place int here, and if I do the compilation once again, Java C space a dot Java, Java space a, now you are getting the answer. Why you are getting the answer? It will check each and every operand. This is arithmetic operator. Okay, it will check snacks operand. Snacks is an operand of what type? Byte type. Boom, gone. Error.
What if you write byte on both sides?
Here, huh?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you're talking about here byte, huh? How I can write that? We cannot write that because it is a violation, no? I am just taking the values. Okay, I am just taking the variable names. Variable name is already declared as byte. Declaration is already done here. You are just accessing here. Making sense? Am I answering your question?
No, sir. Try once. Try byte total is equal to.
Oh, here you want me to ask byte total is
Yes.
equal. Huh? We will get
is equal.
Right
side byte of t plus next.
You want me to do this? Typecasting?
Yes, sir.
This is a future topic. We will discuss that. It will work. We will discuss that in the future. For now, let us keep our knowledge here because everyone will not understand this. That will work. That is a typecasting concept. That is after 5 to 6 classes we will understand that. Okay. Now try to understand. If you are using the plus operator, right? It will expect the both operands to be of integer type. Right? Now let me ask you some questions. We'll come back to this once again. Now tell me what is the answer now. People who are here. So compile this, run this, what will be the answer?
Error.
Compile time error, because out of range. 129 is not a possible value. Okay. If I do this, what is the answer?
-1.
128.
Error.
Okay, let us see who is correct. Java C split a dot Java, because P should be the variable name. check each and every word, okay, and say. Now you say, now as usual -128. Now you will be correct. Now you tell me. I did not teach you short, but try to use some logic here. Try to apply some logic here. T copy. Copy. I did not teach you this. I know that. You just apply some logic here. Okay. Tea and coffee, and let us say that dot s total equal to tea plus coffee. What is the total? Any idea? One rule I will tell. Always remember this rule. Don't ever.
20.
What, 20? Yeah.
Yes, sir. So smaller data type to bigger data type.
No. It's
See,
error.
error. It's error. Always remember this rule. Let us see. Java C space a dot Java. You will get error. Why? Because I have just told you, right? What if you are using the plus arithmetic operator? If you are using the plus operator, the compiler duty is to ensure both has to be of what type? Integer type. Now the violation is here, right? Coffee is of short type. Byte is of what? Byte is of, T is of byte type. Okay, the resultant value has to be in. You are using plus operator. Always remember the resultant value has to be what? Integer type. Now it is valid. Now 20. Now you tell me if it is valid or not valid. Tell me. Think logically and tell me. I have just answered this to you. I am using long data type. So this is a bigger data type, then this is bigger than int. Tell whatever comes.
Yeah, we can.
What about you, Sudhir? What about others?
20.
20. Yeah,
20.
we can do. We can do. Why we can do this? You see, for plus operator, the minimum data type is int. The minimum valid data type is int. It can be more than that. It can be long also, because long is bigger than int. The minimum data type has to be int, and it can be greater than int. Making sense? This is how the questions will be tested. Able to follow? Okay. Now you tell me this. P equal to 10. T equal to 10 plus T. Okay. Now T. What is the answer?
Error.
Any other answers? Okay. Thumb rule. I said no just now. You are using what operator? Plus operator. Plus operator means both should be of integer type. So there is a violation here. It can be a value, but this data type, this operand is violating. This operand is of what type? Byte type. Both should be int. Making sense? Okay. Now you tell me, is this valid or not valid?
20.
No, it is invalid, because I have used only data type. The syntax is what? Data type followed by variable name followed by value. Okay, there is a missing, no? You have value, combination of these two things are going to give you a value. Data type is also there. Variable name is missing, right? So now if I put variable name as something like, B, okay, I will, now tell me what is answer. Think and tell me.
20.
10.
10 is the answer, correct. See, you just develop your insights, very simple. 10 is answer. Why 10 is answer? See what kind of variable I'm accessing here. T I'm accessing. The value inside T is 10 only, no? Making sense. If I access B, now the value is going to be what? Now you tell me.
20.
20.
20.
If I access B plus T,
30.
40.
30. Right? Now if I do like this, B equal to B plus T. Think and tell me. Think and tell me. Everyone. Okay, let me access B. Okay, let us do this. If we are getting error or not. So it is compilation is valid. That's we are getting 30. You might be thinking, Sarah just said that, okay, if one of the operand is byte, it is not validated. But look at the, even though this is byte, the resultant value is getting stored in the integer place, right? The resultant value is getting stored in integer place. Are making sense, Prasanna? Hello?
Yes.
T is of byte data type. I agree with that. You cannot, after the arithmetic operator, you can use only integer data type. Okay, after the evaluation, it is getting assigned to integer only. After the evaluation, it is getting assigned to what? Integer only. So it is accepted. It is accepted. Now B, the value inside the B is going to be what? 10 only. Here what you are doing? 10, 10. Again you are doing 10 plus T. Value of T is what? Value of T is 10, right? This is the answer that we got. For 30. Yeah. Wait.
10 plus T, it will be 20.
First, maybe it will perform the
1 minute. We are missing something.
T is equal to 10 plus T is equal to 20.
Yeah.
10 plus
Here 20.
In the place of
correct.
B, 20 plus 10.
Yes, 20
20
plus 10.
plus
Little
10.
confusion. 20 plus 10, it is going to be what? 30. Right? Now one more question. Think and answer me. Now if you answer this, I can conclude byte data type. What is the answer for this?
Error.
What about others? Let us see. Okay. You said error because of this B.
Yes.
Assigning same variable.
Okay. Now you
40.
Same variable assign.
okay. See. Sudhir is correct. Even I thought it's 40 only. My mistake. Sudhir is correct. Because you are using the duplication is here. Same variable name is being assigned to the long data type. Same variable name is being assigned to the total. But I should use a different variable name. Instead of T, I can use coffee here or I can use total here. Total here. So nothing guys. Variable name is getting duplicated. T is a variable name that is assigned to byte data type. And again you're using the T variable name to the long data type. Duplication is there. Variable name is getting duplicated. So if I change the variable name to coffee, okay, now if I execute this code, I will get 10. And if you now you tell me the answer. If I execute these two codes, now what will be the answer?
1040.
1040.
Yes. Avas is space 10 and right now Remove this copy. Now you tell me the answer. We have discussed this concept. We have discussed this concept already.
Temporary updation.
Yeah, as reassignation. Answer is 40 only.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is not duplication, because variable name is already assigned to the data type. If you don't use the data type for the second time, no issues. You cannot, if you want to place any manipulation, use the same variable name and complete the manipulation. It is valid only. This is not duplicate. So the possible question would be like this, guys. They may not ask you this kind of question, but still we make mistakes. Still we make mistakes. We are trying to understand the flow. That's it. Okay. This is the popular question. Just remember this for the byte data type. Byte A equal to 100. Okay. Byte B equal to something like 100. Okay. If I do byte C equal to A plus B, what people will think if I do byte C equal to A plus B, people will answer it like that we are getting the error because there is an overflow, because this is A is 100, this B is 100. Okay, combining these two things you are going to get 200. There is a overflow, that's why we are getting this, we are getting the error. Okay, the answer is, the error is not because of overflow, the error is because of the plus operator will expect what? It will expect the minimum operand as the integer data type in both sides. If not, the equivalent value, the resultant value has to be assigned, has to be declared with the integer data type. Okay, if you perform C, definitely you are going to get an error. Incompatible size. Okay, if you remove this and if you do it, no issues. Okay, maybe because of this reason also the Java people might have thought to ensure that this operator is taking the integer data type as the minimum value. Making sense? Any questions on the byte data type? That's all. This is C. If you see, this only we have understood about only these four things for the byte data type. You know how to calculate size. Okay, you know how to ensure that it is signed or unsigned. It is signed because you can represent both negative number as well as positive number. Third one is, you know what is this default value concept. Okay, you know, now let us try to print this default value. Focus here. Okay. Let us take a variable outside the method. Let us take the name of variable as integer A equal to 10, 100, something like that. I'm keeping this as static. For now, don't worry what is static. System dot out dot println. Okay, if I try to access A, now what is the answer? Can anyone tell me?
100.
100 is the answer. Why 100 is the answer? Definitely main thread will be created. Main thread will try to access the main method. Okay, let me show this in screens. Just rejoin when you get knocked out of the meeting room. Okay, this understanding is very important. File save as png. Okay. Second batch plus 22. Class 32. Let it be. File name. Okay. Focus here. Forget about compilation and execution. Okay, compilation is going to give dot class file and execution is going to create a main thread. Okay, So now this is the code. Okay, so main thread will get created. Okay, main thread will try to get access to the main method. Okay, when the dot class file is loading into the JVM, do this like this, guys. This is source code. Source code. It is saved with a.java. Okay, to activate the compiler. Okay, to activate the compiler, what is the command? Now java c space a.java. Java c space a.java. Okay, activate the compiler. Which file you want to compile? A.java. Right? So this code, this source code will get into this a.java, this source file, okay, will be taken by the compiler. Okay, and it is going to check all the errors. If there are any errors, syntactical, semantic errors. If there are no errors, it's going to produce a.class file. A.class file will be produced. Okay, then you need to execute it. Compilation is successful. To execute it, you will use a command like java space here. Java space here. Moment you give this command, it will look for a.class file. So there is an a.class file. This will be loaded inside the JVM. JVM is what? Java virtual machine. Okay. After loading this, a main thread will be created. Okay. And what will happen at the time of loading this .class file? If you see, there is a static content here. This is static content. Static content. Inside JVM, a memory will be created for this. Memory will be created for the static content at the time of loading only. At the time of loading the .class file. At the time of loading the .class file, it will check, is there any static block, or is there any static variables, or is there any static methods. If it is finding any static keyword at the time of loading this .class file, okay, the memory will be created at the time of loading only. You do not have to create, the JVM will not create it during the object creation. At the time of loading only, it will create. So it will have a, and the value 10 is getting assigned to the a, because it is static. Static means at the time of loading, the .class file. Okay, now what is happening? Main thread will be created. Main thread will get access to the main method. Okay, here is the main method, and there is only one instruction. Okay, you are just trying to print the value of a. We'll try to check the value of a inside the memory stack. Value of a is 100. It's already there. Firstly, it will try to check if the value of a is already here inside the method. Okay, let me do this. The first priority will be given. If I have something like integer a equal to 1000, okay, now you tell me the answer. I have already explained you about the scopes of a method and scopes of a class. Okay, now which will be printed now? Which value will be printed? Anyone?
1000.
1000 will be printed. Hello? 1000 will be printed. Why 1000 will be printed? Because it is inside the local method scope. First priority will be given to the method scope. If you're not giving this, definitely the JVM will think, okay, the programmer has not defined any variable inside the method. Let me jump into the class. The control will jump into the class and it will get that variable value that is assigned to the variable name here. Okay, now this case, value 100 will be displayed in the console. 100. Okay, what if you're not assigning any value? What if you're not assigning any value? Now what is the answer? If you're not assigning any value, if you see, it will print a default value 0. Okay, that 0 is default value for byte, it is default value for short, it is default value for int, and it is default value for long. Default value will be printed. If you're not assigning it in this place, okay, the JVM will think, okay, the programmer has forgotten to assign the value. Let me assign the value for the programmer, which is a default value, which is what? 0. If you are assigning it, no issues. Okay, now you tell me, having said this, if I do a plus 100, what is output? Hello?
100.
What about others? You agree with Prasanna? 100. Why 100? You may be thinking, sir, you haven't assigned any value to a. You're not assigning,
It will take the
default value 0. Correct. You're assigning, no issues. If I do a plus 100 plus, a, what is the value? Any idea?
100, sir.
100 only. If my explanation is correct, the output should also be correct. Default value. Because a is holding 0 only. So always replace this a with 0. Output will be 100 only. Yes or no? Making sense. What if I do this? A equal to, okay, a plus 1. Okay, now you tell me what would be the answer.
101.
101. What about
102.
Or 2. 102.
okay, now you see it is expecting an identifier. It is expecting an identifier. So this concept is applicable for the static blocks. If this is within the method block, no issues. Okay, if it is outside the method, it is not possible. Sorry for the confusion. Okay. So this is outside the class. So the behavior outside the class is little bit different that we will understand in the class level algorithm. For now, this let us limit ourselves with this understanding. If you see this error, it's a identifier is expected. Okay, you cannot do this kind of operations outside the class. I mean inside the class, outside the method. That's what I mean. Okay. For now, just remember these topics. What are these topics? Don't think that I'm not going to explain this. After completing primitive data types, there is a separate concept called static blocks, a very big topic for static blocks, very advanced topic for static blocks. In that static concept, in that static variables, in the static methods, okay, I will explain you all the possible combinations. For now, understanding has to be limited only with the default values, the range. Okay, we have understood about what is the range, minus 128 to positive 128. The default value is 0. What is the remaining thing? The size is 1 byte. Okay, what is the last thing? It is an unsigned data type. This is more than enough. And also we have understood that if you are using the plus operator, okay, this plus operator will ensure two things. Okay, right and left hand side operand has to be what? Integer type. Okay, if not, if this is not valid, it will expect the resultant value as to be the integer type. Even though if you are using byte or even though if you are using short, okay, the combination of resultant value, byte plus short, the combination of resultant value should be int always. Okay, these two rules you need to remember. These two rules. Right. Apart from that, we will do a lot of problem solving in the short data type, in the long, in the int. There are some tricky questions. I will help you to understand that as well. For now, understand this. Why I have explained this is very simple. This has been explained to understood about the default values. Okay, and keep this in mind. Reassignation can happen inside the method. If you say take integer a equal to a plus, I mean integer a equal to 100 and a equal to a plus 100. So this is a concept of reassignation. You can do this inside the method, but when it comes to outside the method within the class, you cannot do that. That rule is not applicable outside the method. That's why we got it. I'm not supposed to introduce that, but I just thought some people might be knowing Java already. That's why I introduced that. Okay. Any questions for me? If you don't have any questions, you can